There's this idea that kind of sits in the back of your mind. It's ancient, and frankly, it's a little bit creepy. The idea that we are not alone, and that they aren't light years away in some distant galaxy, but that they're already here, hidden. This thought doesn't just challenge our science, it shakes up our whole definition of reality. So let's really dive into what that could mean.
Okay, to get our heads around this, let's start with a number, 200 billion. That is the low-end conservative estimate for how many galaxies there are in the universe that we can see. And each one of those has hundreds of billions of stars. The scale is it's almost impossible to really feel.
And that right there leads to the big mystery, the great cosmic silence. With all of that raw potential for life out there, why is it so quiet? Why haven't we heard from anyone? It's a question that has stumped some of the greatest minds for generations. But maybe we've been asking the question all wrong.
So the first thing we got to do is completely redefine what we're even looking for. What if the problem isn't that they're not here? What if the problem is that our own ideas about what life is are just way, way too small?
I mean, think about it. The word alien itself, it kind of gives the game away, doesn't it? When we picture an alien, we're basically just projecting ourselves. We imagine beings with bodies, with technologies, with motives that are at least a little bit familiar. And that, right there, might be our biggest blind spot.
So, look at this contrast. We're pointing our telescopes at the sky, listening for radio signals, searching for machines, basically looking for another version of us. But what if intelligent life isn't biological at all? What if it's a form of pure energy? Or it exists in a dimension that's layered right on top of ours, totally invisible to us? Or what if it's not even a they, but a single galaxy-spanning consciousness? This quote just nails it. It gives you this incredibly humbling picture, right? We could be like bacteria, living our entire lives inside a vast cosmic being, and we wouldn't even have the capacity to understand what we're a part of. Its thoughts might be the laws of physics themselves. And that idea, well, it pulls the search away from distant stars and brings it right back home, right here. Could the evidence have been under our noses this whole time?
For instance, have you heard of panspermia? It's the theory that the very first seeds of life, the basic building blocks, DNA, didn't actually start on Earth. They hitched a ride here on a comet or a meteorite billions of years ago. Now, if that's true, it means all life on Earth, including you and me, is fundamentally extraterrestrial. We are the aliens.
Okay, so if life is already here, why can't we see it? Well, the simple answer is that we're not equipped to. Our senses, our entire way of perceiving the world evolved for one reason: to survive on the African savanna, to find food, avoid being eaten, not to tune in to the full symphony of reality.
And this just says it all. We can only perceive less than 1% of the electromagnetic spectrum. We are, for all practical purposes, blind to over 99% of what's going on around us. An entire civilization could be broadcasting on those other frequencies, passing through this room right now, and we'd have no idea.
And what about our oldest stories? Go back to any ancient culture, you'll find myths of gods coming down from the sky, watchers from the heavens, teachers from the stars. Now, it's easy to just call it all metaphor, but what if it's not? What if these are humanity's oldest faded memories of actual contact?
Now, entertaining this whole idea isn't just a fun scientific thought experiment. It really has a deep psychological effect on us. It makes us face some pretty uncomfortable truths about our place in the cosmos.
At the very heart of it, the idea that aliens could already be here is a direct shot at our cosmic pride, our ego. For so long, we've told ourselves we're the peak of creation, the only intelligent game in town. The thought that we might not even be special, that we might just be another life form in a very crowded universe, is frankly terrifying.
And historically, this would be the third great humiliation for us. First, Copernicus came along and said, hey, you're not the center of the universe. Then Darwin showed up and said, by the way, you're not divinely separate from the animals. This would be the final blow. The realization that we aren't even the only thinkers around.
So, this brings us to what might be the most important shift in thinking of all. What if we've got the whole idea of contact completely backwards? I mean, maybe, just maybe, an advanced intelligence isn't waiting for us to invent a faster spaceship or a better telescope. Maybe they're waiting for us to grow up, to evolve, to finally move past our tribalism, our fear, our endless need to dominate. Maybe they're waiting for us to mature psychologically. And if that's true, then the whole search for ET isn't about looking out at the stars. It's about looking inside ourselves. The real challenge isn't finding them, it's becoming the kind of species that is finally capable of perceiving them.
This quote just sums it all up perfectly. The great silence we hear when we listen to the stars. Maybe it's not coming from the universe. Maybe the silence is coming from inside us. The problem isn't that they're quiet, it's that we don't know how to listen.
And that leads to the most mind-bending possibility of all, that we are already swimming in an ocean of intelligence, an intelligence so ancient, so vast, so fundamental to the fabric of reality that we don't even see it. We just call it physics, or nature, or consciousness, like a fish that is yet to discover the concept of water.
So in the end, the question isn't really, do aliens exist among us? The real question is, when will we finally evolve the awareness to notice what's been right here all along?